Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
In the world, several indicators are used to assess the success of the country. And not far away from Indonesia, we only need to spend 200,000 rupiah to board a ferry from Batam. We can arrive at one of the top countries in the world. Yeah, Singapore. The land area of Singapore is 725.7 square kilometers, approximately same size when we add Padang City and Bukittinggi City. But still, this country is smaller than Lake Toba. Despite that, Singapore managed to become the top country in the world. Singapore is a unitary parliamentary democracy based on the Westminster model. The president is head of state. The unicameral parliament consists of 94 members. The parliamentary majority select the prime minister, who is head of government. The total population of Singapore is about 5.3 million people. In 2020, the number of government manpower is 134,491, working in 16 ministers, more than 50 statutory boards, and 9 organs of state. Within the public service is the civil service, comprising about 85,000 officers working in the ministry and organ of state, with 90% as a permanent employee. They work in the federal service scheme, including the administrative service, legal, education, police, civil defense, and other generic schemes. Statutory boards have their own recruitment and human resource management policy. They are legally distinct and independent employers from the civil service. Government expenditure of manpower is 9.5 million Singapore dollar, or only 15% of total government expenditure. Before 1995, Singapore implemented centralization of people management function. The public sector personnel structure is based on the recommendation of the Trusted Commission in 1947, set up the Public Service Commission as the agency to meet the government staffing recruitment and another milestones. In 1990, Hsien Loong, as a deputy prime minister and concurrently minister in charge of the civil service, said that Singapore was struggling with the civil service for many years and found it very different system to work. 1995, Singapore established the devolution power and responsibilities for personnel management to the ministers. Most public sector recruitment levels were devolved to their individual agencies. One consistent theme that has underpinned the personnel management system has been the focus on the selection, recruitment, remuneration, and the development of the public sector leadership echelon, the administrative service. Then, how to differentiate public service and civil service in Singapore? Anyone who works in ministry like the Ministry of Defense or Ministry of Home Affairs is considered a civil servant. The people working in departments that fall under the Prime Minister's office are also considered part of the civil service. The Singapore Armed Force, Singapore Civil Defense Force, Singapore Police Force are not part of the civil service. If you work in any of the numerous statutory boards of the Singapore government, you are not civil servant. You are public servant, as all stat boards are mandated separately and funded through their parent ministry budget. Because of all achievement, are Singapore's civil service system free from problem? Of course not. Because in Singapore, the civil servant who claim for the credit but really didn't do anything, or paid a job but too comfortable to quit, already exists. The Singapore civil service system also faces another challenge, such as employing, training, and retaining public service leaders and officers with the right skill set and aptitude, engaging and catering to the changing needs and rising aspiration of the population, and also dealing with increasingly uncertain, complex, and cross-cutting policy issues. The civil service in Singapore has served the same ruling party since independence. It's inevitable that close working relationships will have developed between political and public sector leaders, which have greatly facilitated the successful implementation of policy. Of course, much of the lack of real separation is attributable to the public sector's genuine respect for and trust in the political leadership. So, how will they handle the problem? Retired prominent permanent secretary G.Y. Pillay explained how the political leadership played a crucial role in creating a dynamic public sector governance environment in Singapore. The political leadership put in place structure and processes to institutionalize good practice and safeguard the integrity of the system. The strict separation helped to safeguard the integrity of the public sector by avoiding the practice of political leaders making key administrative appointment, which was endemic in many countries. And don't forget about meritocracy and incorruptibility. In Singapore, public sector compensation is not only about big salary, but based on 5 core principles. Singapore also established public service for the 21st century, which launched in 1995, to instill a sense of urgency for change in the public sector to prepare for an uncertain and unpredictable future. The most important thing about Singapore, people of Singapore are united in purpose, understand what the government trying to do, given the government a strong mandate, and working with the government to implement intelligent and effective solutions to their problem.